crazy all the shit that we see, what we ingest, what we read, what we learn from TV. I feel sick, so sick, yeah, sick as can be. You gon' chase what you want, it better provide what you need, huh?
Just wanna make sure you hear me, and I don't want you to get shot up like the 11-month-old baby. But I'm not gonna say rest in peace, baby girl. I'm gonna say get well soon, and may you recover with candy and sweet treats. You don't deserve to get shot in these mean streets, and the streets are cold, and it's the belly of the beast. I'm in the emergency room, Jacoby, where the shots fired, and across town, the people died from a building fire, and the 2 cops got hit up, and now they're expired, and they want me to pay $12 for orange juice that's expired. A deranged man pushed a lady on the train tracks. I wish I was lying, but I'm spitting raw facts. I'm trying to get my client off drugs in his living room, and outside all you hear is a 21-gun salute. So I run down the stairs and 2 guards are arguing who's gonna kill who. The shell cases on the ground serve as proof. The old lady with the baby carriage and the dog in it, she cursing me out cause she thinks I'm trying to get her evicted. And truth be told, she's a paranoid schizophrenic who performs fellatio for the latest Montclair jacket.
It's crazy all the shit that we see, what we ingest, what we read, what we learn from TV. I feel sick, so sick, yeah, sick as can be. You gon' chase what you want, it better provide what you need, huh? It's crazy all the shit that we see, what we ingest, what we read, what we learn from TV. I feel sick, so sick, yeah, sick as can be. You gon' chase what you want, it better provide what you need, huh? Yeah, excuse me, there's this thing on. Shout out to Crypto Wonder, aka Bloodclot Effects. League in the building. We outside and we inside. Alright. This is something special about me, man. I don't know what it is. Something about me. Since young, what I've said, set in stone. I'm alone in the forest, got katanas like Michonne. Life unfolds, truth be told, I've shown I'm heir to the throne. But with so much going on, you can't tell me that nothing's wrong. I'm in a mood, fuck the news, nothing's new, the world's screwed. People feud, in the end we all lose. It's dog eat dog and dog y'all food. Everybody dogging each other, cause that's what dogs do. I put a dog down like the earth under my shoes. When I walk, I'm the reason that the earth move. On cue, my perception correcting your worldview. I'm up next, I'm not stressed, I'm blessed to tell you the truth. It's crazy all the shit that we see, what we ingest, what we read, what we learn from TV. I feel sick, so sick, yeah, sick as can be. You gon' chase what you want, it better provide what you need, huh? It's crazy all the shit that we see, what we ingest, what we read, what we learn from TV. Feel sick, so sick, yeah, sick as can be. You gon' chase what you want, it better provide what you need, huh? It's crazy all the shit that we see. It's crazy all the shit that we see.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Crypto Wonder, your host of the Crypto Wonder podcast. And let's get right into it. Hope you're doing well always. So we're going to talk about a few things in this episode. Well, first and foremost, I'm going to preface all of this by describing a recent experience I had that I think is relative and relevant to Hex, pulsechain, and soon to be pulsechain and pulsex, but specifically Hex. You know, I work for a living. I'm an employee, right? And in my life, I've been working more than I've been alive. I've been working, no, I said that wrong. I've been working more in my life than not. I would say maybe 80% of my life, I've been working. Like, I've been working since I was a child. That's not unusual for many people. And so far, you know, we're talking like over 3 decades. And I was presented an opportunity to do some overtime at my job. And let me tell you, the pay wasn't a regular type of pay as they would pay you for overtime. It was much, much more, because of a special situation that took place over here where I live that requires much needed attention. Very serious too. So I was at a crossroads because already it's not just me. I take care of a family. I'm a provider. I'm a protector. I'm a husband, father, brother, son, friend, community member, right? I had to make a decision whether I was going to accept the offer or not. And mind you, again, this is something that was paying very, very well. This is paying well, very well. And I had to weigh the pros and cons. And I choose to decline. And I'm going to explain why. I declined the offer because I realized although the money was going to be good, but it was going to be very costly. And I'm not saying as far as, it was going to cost me much more than what I was going to receive by way of compensation. It was going to cost me much more because now I already sacrificed so much of my time working. If I were to assume another role in addition to what I do, my family wouldn't see me, right? I would barely have time for myself, much less anyone else. What are the health ramifications, right? Besides my family, my presence not being there, what are the health ramifications? What are the other implications that can arise? The consequences. That's what I had to think about. And those were the cons. They made up all of the cons and the aspects that helped me make my decision to say, no, I'm going to respectfully decline. If this was 10, 15 years ago, it would have been a no-brainer, no question. Sign me up. I work 100 hours a week, not a problem. 7 days a week, whatever it takes. I did that before. I didn't like it though. But my mindset and my stage of my life was different back then. But I realized throughout those years that I've been working, when my loved ones would ask me, when am I taking vacation? When am I going to take a break? And in some cases, it would be very hard for me to even answer those questions. Don't get me wrong, I've taken vacations here and there throughout my career. But the fact that they kept asking me over and over again, it stirred something in me, deep within me, to allow me to know that there was something that's a little bit unnatural with spending more time working to chase a dollar bill than to live. Live to live. Live to experience and explore life. I talk about experiencing and explore life for a reason. I mentioned something of that nature in mostly all of my blogs for a reason, because that's what it's about. Our time is very, very valuable, but we don't place value on it because we were programmed not to. We're programmed to work for someone else to enrich them. That's how I was trained when I went to school, as from being a child to an adult. Acquire certain breadth of knowledge, from a basic perspective, acquire some skills, and go apply it as a worker. Not as an owner, but as a worker. Not as someone who's creating opportunities, but as a worker who's enriching owners. Not as an entrepreneur who identifies a need and creates a service or a product to address the needs, but as a person who basically is being told what to do. Don't get me wrong. Everyone can't be owners, in a sense, where you have to have people who work, you have to have staff. What my point is, we don't value our time until, well, I can't speak for everyone. Time is not something that I was taught to really value, in a sense where appreciate really how precious it is. Because before you know it, if you're fortunate enough to see old age, which is a blessing, if you had to toil throughout most of that time period, you look back, depending on the quality of life that you've led, and you may have some interesting revelations, right? I don't want to create a bucket list to then say when I reach a certain age, I want to check off these boxes on the bucket list. The rest of the lives should be our bucket list, no matter what age we are. That's why I like Hex, because it monetizes time. And in the meantime, you have to find ways to basically sustain your living. And while you're sustaining your living, you're also enjoying and doing things that bring real inner fulfillment, real joy in your life. Some people at my job, they hopped on the opportunity. More power to them. God bless them. But I know for me, time is everything. I'd rather spend the time with my loved ones and be present for them. Because your presence, our presence, has an impact. On our loved ones. And to me, that's more important. That's more important than slaving for extra money at this point. I understand, and I've done it, but I'm at a different point in my life, thankfully, where I didn't have to do that. Don't get me wrong, it's a sacrifice upon everything we do. It's like we have to put our needs aside so that we can do something else for a greater good. I get all of that. I get that. But at the same time, because if I were not to do that, who knows what would happen, right? Because in the spirit of trying to chase some type of dream that we have and how we need money to make sure that these things come to fruition, anything could happen to us. Our health could become impacted. Imagine working 100, you don't think working 100-hour weeks, you don't think that has an impact on our bodies, on your mind, on our well-being? Much less other factors in other areas of our life? Sure, it absolutely does. So I had to weigh the options. Because if I keep talking about living well, I have to be about it, right? When I talk and I'm speaking about appreciating your life, taking care of yourselves, making sure that you're well, hoping that you're well, these are things that I have to exercise for myself. These are things that I have to live by as well, or else I'd be contradicting myself. And I don't live in a spirit of contradicting myself. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm thankful for Hex. Because in the meantime, don't get me wrong, because when you're staking long term, what are you going to do from now till then? You still have to find a way to live to the utmost, whether it is create opportunities for yourself, whether it is continue to work, as long as and at least if you're working, at least allow it to be something that you love to do so it doesn't feel like work. But keeping ourselves busy and occupied is very important, because what do they say all the time? Well, not all the time. I've heard this since I was a child. An idle mind is the devil's playground. Meaning when you have absolutely nothing to do, and if there's no type of real routine or structure in place, and you're not, grounded, and you have things going on to keep yourself busy, you get into trouble. And I'm watching this happen in the Hex community. I'm watching it, and it's embarrassing. It really is embarrassing. I don't like it. Who does? But this is why I've always said too, and it's just the truth that hurts. And that when Stunner Breezy says crypto is a solo sport, the occurrences of this infighting, this beefing, this Twitter caca that's happening with the Hex community, infantile, just nonsensical, foolish behavior, this off-putting trash that's taking place. Oh, it supports people who believe. It supports the stance that another Hexican, day one, who doesn't get talked about, Stunner Breezy, it supports what he says. Shout out to him, because in his own right, he's working hard for his own community, and he's a Hexican. But solo sport is what crypto is. A solo sport. It is. And it shows you why. When people forget about the good things that are happening, and because they are impatient, possibly even bored, anything that they don't like becomes glorified and blown up because people want something to do. This is part of why you have to find something better and more productive and more healthy to fill in the gaps. I see, perhaps people are just so wealthy they really don't have to work, right? They don't have to work. Folks have done well. They came up in Hex. They've done well. But what is it that you're doing to add to the fold, to help your community thrive and do better? You thumb-thugging on Twitter? You turning on the camera talking shit on a stream, fighting, creating drama? I miss me with all of that. Miss me with all of that. Because See, my channel is small, but I value my channel. It's not just that I value my channel. Technically, it's not really mine, and I always say that YouTube could pull the plug at any point. Due to the terms of service, they call the shots. They can just pull the plug for however they feel. So I use YouTube and I use this channel because to me, I like to talk about certain things. I turn the camera on and I speak. Whether you like what I say, doesn't matter to me. I'm just talking because this is something that feels natural for me. I don't do it for popularity. I've had my channel for 6 years. I don't get a lot of views. I don't care about all that. I don't care about the fame. But every time I speak, I try to at least be as truthful as I can. I don't care about the drama that y'all got going on. You know, people try to judge you for having a different mindset. That's life. Everyone's not going to like everything you got going on. That is life. Folks are like, you know, 1 minute they have one position, the next minute they switch it up. That's life. Life is filled with hypocrisy and contradictions and betrayal and envy and jealousy. We know all of this. Why give all that attention? Because you can't wait. You can't focus on Hex. The price is too low. Pulsechain is taking too long. This is what people are saying. This is what people are saying. People just want to experience their own 10,000x, right, gains. Folks just can't. They're just they're so sort of like flustered within themselves. You have to learn to be good with yourself, to be balanced. So some of this stuff that gets hurled left and right, I mean, it's nonsense. It's utter nonsense. And it's sad. It's sad. I'm watching the community implode, and I'm embarrassed because I showed a couple people on my end, listen, these are a couple streams that I've been watching for the past year. These are a couple streams, blah, blah, blah. And then when they watch the streams, as of late, as of within the last month, you know, I get callbacks like they're asking me, they're questioning me now. Like, do you listen to these people? But you know, the streamers don't see that. The ones that, you know, continue to fan the flame of drama, they don't see these things. They think that they're doing a service, but in fact, they're really doing a disservice, feeding into the drama. But they don't care. Folks don't care. It's about serving their own needs, which everyone has a right to. And I get it. I get it. These are just observations that even have been brought to my attention. And you know what I would tell to, you know, my people? I'll tell them, listen, focus on what's important, not this endless jargon. Because the bottom line is this. Everybody has an opinion, but none of these people created Hex. Right? Everyone has an opinion, but none of these people had the foresight or the resources and the interest and the aptitude to create pulsechain, or to gather the resources to create pulsechain and soon to be PulseX. Focus on what Richard Hart has to say. You know, tune into his Twitter handle, notifications, wait on Richard. Forget about the community. Forget about everything else, because I don't know what to say. I can't speak for these people that have drama, but I'm creating content regarding this stuff. So it makes me look a certain way. When other people who've been in the community longer are carrying on the way they are. You know what I mean? People like close folks that I'm looking at, and it's cringe. They're cringing. They're like, it's the material that they're seeing, the fighting that's going on is cringeworthy. And they're looking at me like with question marks. And they're like, you want me to do what? These are the people that support this? These are the people that support that? This is, and all I could do is shake my head because I've been in crypto for years. So they don't know, they don't understand. These are new people, folks. The same shit that everybody wants as far as onboarding, right? Oh, you want to onboard, you want new people. Richard Hart got mad because, the loss to Daytona and just bombed on the community for spending 600 plus K on painting a car, called it wasting money, do some direct mail to onboard people, new people. And when the new people come around and they see the shenanigans taking place, come on, man. They see the shenanigans taking place on YouTube, people fighting. It's like modern day reality show. The drama's no different. Every other day. It's tiring. It's sickening. And I'm glad though, but this is the thing. This is what people who are watching the drama and who trying to like wondering why this is going on. This is what I've learned about things like this, because this happens in our natural life, period. It's not going to go away. It's not going to change. Especially if you stake it for 15 years, expect to go through 15 years of fuckery if you allow it to. If you allow yourself to be plugged into nonsense, you'll be dragged through the mud with the nonsense. And if you don't, you won't. What you have to understand is you have to thank people for showing you who they are. You understand what I'm saying? Thank them. The viewers who are watching, the folks who are streaming and carrying on, for the new people who are watching. The people are showing you who they are and appreciate them for that. So you can make the best decision on you, for you, on what to do, how to move, who to listen to, who not to listen to. You want to dismiss everybody? That's your prerogative. But folks are showing you who they are. Because you're dealing with human beings. You don't like what I have to say? It doesn't matter to me. I get it. I respect it, because I don't like what everyone else all the time has to say all the time. It is what it is. We're all human. No one's perfect out here. But this is what I'm like, is being brought to me. And I didn't want to talk about drama. I didn't want to talk about it. I made a couple of videos. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm in tune with what pulsechain is doing, anticipating the next version 3 testnet. That's what I'm anticipating. I want to see what these, what I call score sheet comes out as far as all the balances for the pulsechain sacrifice, maybe the pulse X sacrifice. I want to see those balances. This is the things that I'm focusing on. I'm not focusing on nonsense like the stupidity that y'all got going on, man. It's disgusting and it's embarrassing. I don't care if you like me or not. Never did. I don't care. I'm not doing this for attention. I'm speaking up actually for my people, because they're asking me questions based on what y'all are doing. What you players are doing. Like some of you guys, you guys have been in crypto too long to not know that you wield power. You've been in crypto too long, especially if you stream. You've been in crypto too long to not know that you have people who will listen to everything you say. They will listen to everything you say and possibly even act on it. You've been in crypto too long not to know this. And I'm always hearing, this is why I talk about being responsible with what you say. Anyone and everyone can listen to what you have to say, and it impacts people differently. But that's power. No matter how small your channel is, no matter how large your channel is, especially if it's large, like, upward 100,000 millions, oh my goodness. You're what they call an influencer. Have to be responsible. Have to know, have to understand. Listen, you're attracting attention by talking. When you speak, you attract attention. And it's a fine line you walk, because things can go left real quick. You got to fix that, because you're impacting the lives of others by what we say. After a while, if people start believing in us, they're going to do what we easily, because it's just something that just happens naturally because of who we are as human beings. There's no real, because it's boring, right? So I don't see like the constant talk about how to really get new people on board. How to get new people on board, like to really focus on that every day, harness that. If that's what it takes, because that's what it really takes to get some people on board. Sure, it's going to lessen the amount of, payments we get, right? The more people are at stake, it affects the rate. As far as yield, we understand that. But this is what is needed, because cryptocurrency has shitted on everybody for so long until Hex came around. And a couple other things. But come on. You want to just continue to fight, continue to talk shit, continue to have drama that doesn't pay anyone's bills. You don't care. Doesn't pay anyone's bill. People want to build this. People want to build that. Let them do what the fuck they're going to do. You can't stop it. Who cares about how you feel? No, who cares about how I feel? It's going to happen. It's the same thing that could be applied to modern day life. When you're talking about politics, when you talk about social issues, everyone's not going to agree on anything, on everything all the time. It is what it is. But at least we have the opportunity where we can choose and decide and have alternatives. Everybody want to be kumbaya. Yo, sometimes it's not for that. Like, I get it. Yeah, it is family. Nah, solo sport. I agree. Solo sport. Shout out to the people who reached out to me and wanted me to collab with them whenever I was feeling like collaborate. Shout out to y'all, because real recognizes real. And I appreciate that, because you didn't have to extend yourself that way. You guys know who you are. But I'm not ready to collab right now. I'm not ready to collab. That's why I haven't. Not ready to collab with anyone. That's just me. I'm not saying because I'm better. Because I'm human too, and I get triggered by the nonsense. I get triggered by bullshit because I'm human. And my loved ones can tap in and see what I'm talking about, and probably it won't be a best representation of who I am. Right? So a lot of people are displaying poor representations of who they are, if they don't realize that that's what's going on. And maybe they don't care. Maybe that's the focus. But it's not helping the process of onboarding. It's not making it easier. It's actually making it worse. I thought about, going to, different events and things that the community has. But I said to myself, no, I'm good. I'm not going to do that. I'm okay. I'm going to just focus on what's important here. What's important here? What's important? I'm not going to do all of this. There's too much stuff going on. It'll happen. If it happens, it'll happen when it's right, when it's meant to happen, at the right time, right moment, right everything, when the stars are aligned. But for right now, absolutely not. Wish everything success with all the events. I went to a meetup not too long ago. Brought my wife with me. And it was love. It was great. One of the workshops. Because that was an effort to onboard people. That was fantastic. And I wish that type of energy would overshadow the bullshit. I wish that type of energy where people are really trying to be constructive and efficient and productive. I wish that energy would overshadow the nonsense, the backbiting, the digs, the snide remarks and shade and comments. I've been in the Hex community for 1 year. And through the screen, through the text messages, you can tell who fucks with who doesn't like who doesn't like. It's just stupid. What is this, high school? And I could understand why people like Trevon James stays away. Because people don't like him. Why? Why don't you like him? He's one of the premier people that's never talked about, hardly in the Hex community. He's one of the premier people that went on live stream with Richard Hart. He's one of the premier people that went on live stream with Richard Hart. But you don't like him? Why? Because he came out with Tokenair to help users earn more Hex, multiples and multiples and multiples of Hexes at a much more rapid and higher rate than the gohex.com//stake system. Why don't you like him? Is there a deeper reason? Why? Because of his mistakes that he's made in the past? What about the winnings that he's made? But folks don't celebrate. People don't like to give the flowers, really. Folks talk that good talk to appease their ego, to appease their moments of shine, to glorify themselves. But ultimately, it's about their ego. It's about controlling other people. Give people their credit where it's due, but that's not celebrated. None of that is celebrated. I used to be critical about Hex. I used to be critical about Trevon James. Until I realized I was wrong, especially with Hex. And I looked at Trevon, and I looked at him as a marketing genius in crypto space. A marketing guru. No one else has done crypto weather. You remember crypto weather? No, many of you don't. Many of you probably do. But that was creative and very entertaining. The man has a mind for these types of things. But because he talks about other things outside of Hex, it makes people cringe. Yeah, maybe he struck out on a few things. I know, because I've been watching crypto. I've been in crypto for years. But give him his flowers where it counts, because he's also helped people. And so has other individuals too in the Hex community. But you got this cool the cool kids, this clan, these clans, these cliques, miss me with all that. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need all that energy. You could see it though. You could see it. And then this is the thing. You cry about being gatekept, but you gatekeep one another on a social level. Right? People don't fuck with each other. If they're not gonna fuck with Hex, don't be mad. Because y'all don't fuck with each other either. Not like that. You show it. A lot of it on TV is for posturing. You front for the gram. You're fronting for the gram. And behind the scenes is something else. Fraudulent behavior. You know what I mean? Like that's just what it is. I'm not perfect. I just want to help my family uproot themselves out of misery and poverty. But you're not helping the situation, giving all this attention, all this light to where it doesn't even need to be. It doesn't even need to belong. So when you say OGs, right? Y'all like to talk about this OG talk. You like to talk about OG this, OG that. You didn't create Hex, though. Yeah, you've been through the fire. Other people been through the fire, too. Other people been through the fire in other communities. Makes you better. Makes you different. Yeah, everybody hated Hex. I hated Hex, too. I was bombing on Hex in the beginning. Made videos and all that. And I was wrong. And I was a man, man enough to even claim that I was wrong and apologize. It is what it is. But, being in the community for the last year, I'm not impressed with the behaviors of these people, because it's every other month. Once this smoke lessens, and, once this smoke dies down, another 3 months from now is going to be some more smoke. That's how life is. But a lot of people talk this OG talk. They talk this OG talk. They let that go to their head like it means something. It means nothing. It means that you've been in the system longer than someone else. That's it. You were into a system longer than someone else. You were into a system. You front run many other people. That's it. Don't let it go to your head. And just because you're an OG or something, you could have just got lucky. Doesn't mean you actually know what you're owning, what you hold. Because sometimes you have to respect. You have to, exercise a certain level of respect. And there's nothing but disrespect flying left and right. Not impressed. Not impressed at all. Not impressed. Not impressed. Not impressed. It's at a low point. Why? Who knows? I don't even care. But when people are coming to me, asking me questions like, you watch these people? You watch this guy? Oh, no, then I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk. Because, unfortunately, this is what's happening. So let me address it and give my perspective on what's going on in this drama. Let me tell you right now, folks, on my end, this is what I've said to my people. Listen. Don't bother yourself with the noise. Don't bother yourself with distraction. That's all a distraction. Just like how the news bombards us with information, it's all a distraction to take away from what really matters. And what really matters are your T-shares. What really matters is the decision you make or not make to involve yourself with PulseX, pulsechain, etc., etc. Do your research. Figure out what's going on. Improve your health. Improve your well-being. Be a role model to your loved ones. Be a role model to your kids. Be a role model to your siblings. Be a role model in your community. Don't allow this stupid streamer on YouTube, irrelevant, because we're all irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. We're all irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. Don't allow the nonsense, the negativity that's spewed to affect your overall well-being. Don't allow that to poison your mind and your feeling. Don't allow that. Block it. Just like these, childish individuals want to block people on Twitter and make themselves, seemingly feel good, like they're powerful, like they've done something, right? Be instantly gratified, like you accomplished something for the day. You block them that way as well. Now, I'm not saying just figuratively speaking, I'm talking about. You block that negative energy. Don't let it seep into your mind, what you think you become. End of story. And so they understand me. And this is why I'm talking. This is what I'm saying. And I'm good. I'm good on this stuff. Because and what's unfortunate about all of it too, sometimes you want to give things a chance, right? A lot of people don't trust people. A lot of people don't trust people. And sometimes you get that moment when you feel like, maybe you've been too hard on things and your stance has just been too rigid. And you give things a shot. You give it a chance. You give, let me see how this works. Maybe, And then all of a sudden, you're reminded real quick. On why you felt the way you felt about not trusting anybody. Oh, yeah. Then you end up disappointed because you disappointed yourself once again. That's what's happening now. But not for me, because it doesn't. So what's happening, though. You can see it. I can see it in the comments that people leave on these. I can see it. It's sad. It is what it is, though. Keep your mind focused on what matters, not what doesn't. Because that's what makes the difference. How you respond, how you react, how these things affect you and what you do when you're impacted by these, this negative stimuli is what will make all the difference. How you react and respond. Just be the change that you want to see in other people, because you can't change no one. No one can be changed. We can't change anyone out here. We could only change ourselves. So wishing that a community could this shit ain't different than any other community, because I've seen it. It's just at a high point right here because it's a cesspool of shit. That's all it is. It's unfortunate, but it's what it is. But don't allow it to be your shit. Let the other people who deal with it and swim. Hex is still going to do what it's going to do. This is where we mess up again too. These blockchains still work void of anything we got going on as people. Them things have no feelings. Technology has no feelings, doesn't care how we feel about anything. It's just going to work and operate, especially if they're completed, finished products. Those of us who are staking every day, earning rewards, earning yield. What the fuck we got to be mad about? I don't get it. Peace.